Bam, we're live. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We will have all the cameras up very shortly in just a few seconds. Brian Friend is moving to the Earth area at CrossFit Crash, where we are watching the 2023 Crash Crucible, brought to you by GoWad. GoWad was kind enough to partake and support this event that J.R. Howell's putting on. Get GoWad, the leading mobility app for CrossFit. Create your own mobility flows or let GoWad tailor them for you based on your unique weaknesses. Start for free. Andrew Hiller, can you please turn on your camera? Souza, looking forward to seeing your camera. Brian Friend making his way over. I'm feeling great. If the first day I was 10%, the second day I was 80%, today I am 100%. I'm just distracted because we do have the frequent guest of the Sevan Podcast currently taking the field as the quarterback for the Chicago Bears, Tyson Bagent, and he is taking it several horrible snaps. And but he is running it down the field, and he does have it to the 1 yard line now, and it does look like the Bears are going to score. Man, I didn't realize how shitty the Bears truly are. Tyson has his hands full. At least the running back looks like he knows what he's doing. Ken Walters, my Bagent limited edition rookie cards are going to make money. A series makes a career. I will try to get Tyson on this week. We will also have a soldier and affiliate owner from Israel on the show at some point this week. Also, we'll have Greg Glassman on the show for the Sevan Podcast. It's going to be a wild, wild week. Looks like Chicago Bears just scored. Listen, the scores for this, I'm not going to have the exact scores for you right now, but the scores for this Crash Crucible as we go into this final two events is close. We know that Daniel Coots is no longer in first place, so we know he shifted somewhere probably down into the top 5 still. But there's going to be a collision of scores here between Colton Mertens, Jack Rosema, Austin Hatfield, James Briggs, and Daniel Coots. Let me see if I refresh this, if I can maybe even get an update. No, not yet. Tyler Watkins from Heat 1 is working on the scoreboard right now. I'll drag over and take a peek and see if we can see what's going on the floor. And we'll come back and check the scoreboard shortly. It does look like for the first time during the entire week, the Crucible is slightly behind schedule. This event was supposed to start 6 minutes ago. It is the first time, and I don't know how many, 50, 100 heats that they've run during the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that we have been behind schedule. But the good news is this is going to be fast and furious. There's heavy bags. There's great gymnastic movements. There's a sled. These are going to be races, and they're going to be exciting. Amanda Stack, listening to Brian's commentary reminds me of listening to a baseball game on the radio. Love the coverage this weekend. Great job to everyone. Amanda, he is spectacular at painting the picture for anyone who wants to just plug in their ears and do some yard work. It is exactly like AM radio. And truly, it's better than in the sports that the little bit of sports I've been listening to recently, which is football through ESPN, their radio broadcast. They're horrible compared to what Brian does. He's truly fantastic. For those of you just tuning in, this is being shot on an iPhone, streamed through podcast software. This is our second time doing this. This is a huge leap from the show that we did at Zealous Game a year ago. I'm extremely proud of the setup. Matt Souza, Andrew Hiller, J.R. Howell giving us the opportunity to come here, Brian Friend stepping in, everyone kind of putting their reputations on their line and working their ass off. The Crash Crucible event draws high caliber athletes every year. This year, Chloe Wilson, James Sprague, Colton Mertens. Athletes making a name for themselves with their great performances here. Rosema, McQueen, Irving Hernandez, Hutchinson, just to name a few. Lydia Fish, Lindsay Lane. All names that you will know first by watching this event as they climb up into the best CrossFitters in the world. They make their first stop here at Crucible. Mike Halbin, JR's like a Swiss clock. The schedule he gave us on Friday has this starting at 3:40. I apologize. Then I apologize. Look at me. Look at me trying to take cheap shots at JR Howell.
Yeah, we apologize. Halbin. Apologize.
No, I'm not apologizing. Yeah, well, I apologize to Halbin and everyone else. I apologize to JR Howell. How dare I drag his name through the mud?
Hey, did our boy get a touchdown?
Yeah.
Oh,
baby.
Let's go.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Make us famous, Tyson Bagent. Make us famous. 1913 in the fourth quarter of the Bears-Vikings game. Why do you give a shit? Because one of our very own Tyson Bagent, the young man from Division II, Shepherdstown University, they said he could never make it to the NFL. He took the field today, stepped in for the injured Justin Fields. You know we have our favorites. here on the Sevan Podcast. Mrs. Burns giving us the stats, 7 for 10, 67 yards and a TD run. Man, the snaps have been horrible. I don't know shit about football, but I know that the ball is not supposed to hit the ground before the quarterback gets it. I know you're not supposed to catch the ball way up here over your head. It's ridiculous. I saw him have to put his hand out and catch one that was shot off to the right. Dallas Cannon having some faith for Tyson Bagent. The setup at the Crucible is happening right before your eyes over there in lane number 5, by the way, is the kid. Also here, Caden. Don't worry. I got this. No, actually, I don't have this. I don't have a heat sheet. Son of a bitch. Someone get me a heat sheet. Somebody get me a heat sheet. Unmute yourself, you son of a...
Got it. All right, we've got Caden Myers in lane 5, Alonza Hayes in lane 4. 1 second on lane 3.
Taylor Self in the house from the Self-Made Training Program, offering up his expertise as Brian has been hit with some explosive diarrhea and has had to retreat to one of the private facilities in the back at Crucible. He ate something bad at JR's house last night. That's why everyone knows when you do events like this, everyone should not eat at the same place.
Dude, shut up. I made the steak last night, and we all feel amazing. I made 7 pounds of flank steak and ribeye.
Like usual, Taylor's offended by the smallest things that I say.
Yep. It's Graham Winchester in lane 3, and he is currently in the lead in his heat.
Taylor, I'm gonna give me 30 seconds. I'm gonna go pee and try not to pee on my feet.
Oh, you?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't leave, Taylor. Don't leave, Taylor. Don't do it. Don't leave, Taylor. You son of a... Welcome back, Brian Friend. Good to see you, brother. Brian will be coming back shortly and giving us the number of reps required, but basically this is a muscle up workout. And then I think they push a sled across. Is that this one? And then they come back. Oh, thank you. And then they come back and they do a bunch of more muscle ups. And I want to say the fastest time we've seen today is 2:30.
Sevan, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You sound wonderful.
Okay, the audio in my headset is totally different than whatever it was earlier.
Better or worse?
I don't know. I think Taylor adjusted it, but it's better now.
Andrew Hiller's
emailed
camera's
you-
still dark.
I emailed you the heat sheets for the rest of the heats after this one.
Oh, you're awesome. Okay, I'm going to watch this Snap by Tyson Bagent. I haven't told him what the workout is because I don't know.
Oh, all right. This is event 6. We're 4 minutes into the 5-minute time cap. 12 ring muscle or 14 ring muscle ups for the men. 70-meter sled push. It's an empty sled plus 45 pounds, and then 14 more ring muscle ups. It looks like we did have some finishers. Were you able to jot down their scores? Oh, no, of course you weren't.
No, we haven't had any finishers for. There were only 3 people in this heat.
I know, and they finished underneath the time cap.
Oh, no, sorry.
I'll get the scores when they bring them to Tyler later on.
Thank you.
Now, so they all finished under the time cap. There's 25 seconds until that time cap, and then there's a forced 2-minute rest. The 2-minute rest will allow them to reset the floor a little bit. They'll go to the other side of the floor for event number 7. These events are scored separately, 2 100-point opportunities. And the second one is the sandbag cleans and parallel handstand push-ups.
By the way, whoever you had hold that sheet of paper when you took a picture of it has beautiful fingernails.
Okay. So they're in the 2-minute transition now. The men are there sitting on their sandbag.
Caden was at the CrossFit Games this year in lane 5 in the teenage division.
Took 5th place there. You do know who these 3 guys are at least?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I don't.
Lane number 3, Ryan Haynes. Lane number 4, Melanza Hayes.
I remember Melanza.
And lane 5, Caden Myers. The
Ryan
next
who?
event-
Ryan who?
Haynes.
Haynes.
Distant cousin of a friend.
Did any of these guys finish? Do we know?
They all finished. I did not see the time on the clock as I was sorting out. The reason for the delay is because we needed all of the men from the previous event to finish before, and then the scoring to be entered so we could reseed for the final. We wanted to be sure to have the top 6 men in the final heat, and there are 23 points separating places 1 through 5, which we'll get to at the final heat.
Wow, crazy! Wow, Suzanne Summers died. Is that real? Is that really true? Do you know who that is from Three's Company?
Yes, but I don't know if it's true or not. I have not been checking the news today.
She's was the spokesperson for the Thigh Master, part of our industry.
10 seconds. Start of event 7, heat 1 of 6 for the elite men. They'll have 7 sandbags to shoulder plus a brief carry, 200-pound sandbag. They'll be advancing it down the length of the turf. When they get to the other side, 14 deficit handstand push-ups, 14-inch deficit on the parallettes, and then 7 sandbag cleans heading back the other direction in the same manner. Another 5-minute time cap. Hayes with the early lead over Myers and Haynes. Melanza Hayes, an extremely strong individual. Sandbag going to be relatively easy for him compared to most of the field. Handstand push-ups to be determined.
Just had a quick shot with Andrew Hiller. Going to try to fix one more thing maybe with his camera. Better late than never. 200 points available. I'm not sure if Brian just said that. 200 points available between both of these workouts. There can be huge changes still left on the leaderboard. I will be bringing up the leaderboard shortly at Brian's request as soon as this heat is over.
Milan's struggling with the last rep there, allowing young Caden Myers to pass him by. Both men dumped their bag off at the 110 mark. One more rep for Ryan Haynes. Upon finishing the cleans, they have 14 Parallette handstand push-ups, 14-inch deficit on those. If you were not with us earlier, the elite women have done this. The elite men or male masters and female masters have done this. The rule for the Parallette handstand push-ups is that they must be flush against the wall, but the distance between them is up to the athlete to determine. In terms of the finishing position, the legs can go as wide as you want, but you must bring them back within the width of the parallettes or the hands, which are in the same spot, with the heels against the wall to finish the rep. The shoulders and hips must be open at the top as well. Myers with another good rep on the left side of the screen. Brian Haynes kicking up on the right side there in the gray and blue. He gets his first good rep. 2 minutes and 15 seconds have passed. Milanza kicking back off the wall. Sevan, Colton Mertens is within 2 yards of me. Talking to Will Brandstetter.
I apologize. I'm trying to figure out what we can do to get this picture better, brighter, like the iPhone shot.
Yeah, the iPhone shot to me looks really good.
Oh, it's incredible. Oh, what happened to our third athlete? Did he pass out?
He's getting chalk. Really, he's just buying time because these are very hard. Three minutes and 15 seconds have passed. 5-minute time cap on these. These guys are struggling on the parallettes. We're going to see a huge disparity from the best to the worst athletes on these. It's obviously a really demanding movement, 14-inch deficit. Myers goes wide, brings them back together. His judge's hand is in the air. 2 reps to go there. 90 seconds for the cap.
Mike Halpin trying to take Brian Friend's job, giving us the reminder of the origins of this workout. The rebag is based on the 2012.
Missed rep. He tried to go for a double there at the end.
Rebag is based
You're
on
so quiet in my ear.
Rebag is based on the 2012 Games Med Ball handstand push-up. 3 rounds for time, 8 medicine ball cleans at 150 pounds for the men, 80 for the women, 100-foot med ball carry, 7 Parallette handstand push-ups, 100-foot med ball carry. And as Brian's told us, the game has evolved, and now it's a 9-inch deficit, and the bags are heavier. 200. That's a 17-year-old boy there carrying a 200-pound bag. None of the men did touch and go. We did see Jamie Ladmere in the women's masters division try a few touch and go. Brian extremely frustrated, as he would love to hit my voice louder in his ear. Brian, there's probably a volume on the mic there. Is there?
The other audio that I'm getting is like loud compared to
Caden taking the lead. Brian, maybe you can turn up the mic. Can you turn it up on the mic?
Yeah, but when I turn that up, the ambient noise I get is very loud. It's like there's a disparity between whatever audio I'm getting from you and everywhere else.
How about you guys at home? Is the audio fine between Brian and I? Do you hear Brian and I equally? Or do I need to turn my mic up?
Caden Myers did have the best score there, 3 or 4 cleans. I'm not sure if he got that last rep before the time cap.
Corey Bromery dropping a little bit of but Corey was also in this competition, and he as a masters, and he was saying that you weren't allowed to touch and go. I do not know if that's correct, but I do believe Corey. Maybe
we know for sure that the masters women were allowed to, because Jamie Latimer did that and was not told she couldn't, unless they changed the rules from that point forward. You definitely had to walk it forward into the next section before doing anything.
Jeffrey Birchfield, you both sound good. Maybe Brian needs to be broadcasting from your house with your setup. Brian's a bit louder, according to Philip Borowski, but he should be. He should be louder. I'm only filling dead air, making inappropriate comments. Chicago Vikings NFL football game, score 19-13 in the fourth quarter. Vikings are up by 6. Minute and 34 left on the clock. 2nd and 8. Vikings have the ball. That's a shame. The second heat is about to take the field. Let me see if Brian gave me the show notes. Let me see if I can pull them up. It looks like I'm still looking for a printer. That's not good.
All right, Sevan, we got this times to beat for event 6 and 7 from heat 1. Ryan Haynes, 3:39. And that was event 6. And Caden Myers, 4 out of the 7 cleans on the way back.
And those are the scores from the heat we just saw, the first heat.
Correct. So event 6, Ryan Haynes, 3:39. Event 7, Caden Myers, 4 out of 7 sandbag cleans on the way back.
Okay.
Did you get the heats that I sent you?
I did. My printer's not printing them out, so I'll just use this screen over here. I'm lucky enough.
This is going to be heat 2 of 6. In lane number 1 is going to be Graham Winchester. In lane 2, Roman Burkon. In lane 3, Leonel Franco. No shirt, middle of the floor. Lane 4, Frank Minervini. And lane 5, Rankin Holt. They have a back-to-back event, 6 and 7, 12 minutes total, 5 minutes on the first event for the cap, 2-minute forced reset, and 5 minutes cap on the second one. This is Re-Ring, a rewritten version of the 2019 Sprint Couplet. That workout had sled push on the turf, bar muscle up, sled push on the turf. This workout has 14 ring muscle ups for the men, 70 yards sled push with 1 plate on the sled, and then 14 more ring muscle ups. As we just said, 3:39 from Ryan Haynes in heat 1 is the time to beat. We saw some women do their version of this workout in the mid 2-minute range.
2:38, I believe.
2:17, Aaliyah Miller.
Ooh.
Birkin and Holt come off at the same time with aggression at the 45-second mark. Franco 1 rep behind them. 2 reps to go now, 1 for Winchester. Hand in the air for Minervini. The 70 yards or meters on the sled is 2 full down and back. So they'll have to do 4 traverses of the turf. Holt going way past where he needs to go. A lot of extra work there. Roman Burkhan taking advantage of that, now has the lead in the heat. Leonel Franco about 10 meters behind them. Then it's Winchester and Minervini at the 1:15 mark. Every man's off the muscle ups. Holt and Roman Burkhan finishing up at about the same time, 1:30 on the clock. On screen is Leonel Franco, Jonathan Ortega getting some live action shots there. Burkhan first up to the rings in the back part of your screen, the black t-shirt on the left side of the green and the maroon. Holt right after him, 1:45 on the clock. See if these guys can hang on for some big sets. It is possible that we could have some fast times early on in this one. Leo Franco back up on the rings. Graham Winchester as well, and Frank Minervini pushes it back there. Burkhan off the rings. Holt still hanging on. Franco still hanging on. Big set for Winchester. Minervini chalking up, yet to start in on his last set of 14. We'll look for judges' hands to be in the air with the 2:20 mark, and it's Leonel Franco, third back to the rings, yet to come down with 4 reps to go. He does come down. Burkhan comes down. He's got 5 reps remaining. Minervini jumps up, and he gets underway. Rankin Holt on the far side of the floor. No idea where he's at in terms of reps, but he's got to be close to the other guys. Leonel Franco back on the rings with 4 reps remaining. Roman Burkhan up on the rings. Those guys are within 1 rep of each other. 5 reps to go for Winchester, and now hand in the air for Rankin Holt. This one's going to be tight. 2:55 on the clock, and Franco done at 256. Not sure if Roman finished or not. No, he's got 2 reps to go. So Lionel Franco, 256.
Got it.
Less than 3 reps to go for 3 men on the floor. Roman Burkin back up. He's got 1 left to go in the rogue shirt and the black tank top. He locks out at 317. Holt misses his last rep, so 317 for Roman. Burkon, 1 rep to go for Holt, 2 reps to go for Winchester. Minervini drops. Winchester with a good rep there. Holt and Winchester misses as Holt hits it at 335. 1 rep to go for Winchester. Minervini chalking up. So those 3 men all ahead of Myers, and now Winchester in at 349, 10 seconds behind the previous best time. Minervini with the hand in the air, 1 minute to go. Looks like 3 more reps for Frank. Going to come down, as Halpin mentioned, one of 2 underdogs athletes in this heat alongside Lionel Franco, both of them being coached this weekend by Kiefer Lamy, who's traveled from Vegas over here to see what J.R. Howe and Crash Crucible are all about. I spoke to him earlier today, and he said he and his athletes are having a great experience. Everything's organized, ran on time, good communication from the organizers to the athletes. Last 2 reps for Minervini. 1 more rep to go. 434, and Frank locks it out. "15 seconds till the time cap." All of this is now just banked rest for the gentleman who finished early. I'm not sure if we can see it on the floor, but Lionel Franco did go down and adjust his parallettes. As I mentioned, the width of the parallettes is up to the athletes. We've seen some athletes go wide and some athletes go narrow. Those will be used in the second part of this back-to-back. That'll be the rebag. They have a 2-minute rest now. And a great time to look at the leaderboard because Halpin has been sniping it from us. And it's basically a null heat between Hatfield and Sprague. As I mentioned, 23 points separating first through fifth, and then about a 50-point gap to Will Leahy, who did do enough to sneak into the final heat, which he should be excited about as he wants to race against the best. That's what he's come here to do. But between Hatfield and Mertens, with 200 points left to go, nothing is guaranteed. All 3 podium spots wide open, and you have to think that the experience and the skill set of Colton Mertens, even though he's in 5th on the leaderboard, really lends itself well to these remaining 2 tests.
What about that 200-pound bag? We did see Irving Hernandez struggle with the 200-pound bag.
Colton Mertens is not Irving Hernandez.
Fine. Austin Hatfield, 418. James Sprague, 418. Daniel Coots, who's been the leader for much of this event, at 406. Jack Rosema has shown that he can do anything at 400. Colton Mertens, he is the man to beat at 395. Will Leahy keeping the weekend exciting with 347. Guys, hang tight. This is going to be a good one.
30 seconds to go. Heat 2 of 6. This will be event 7 of 7. 3 days of competition here at Crucible. This is the rebag. 7 cleans to the shoulder with a 200-pound sandbag. You must walk it forward after every rep. We haven't seen no touch-and-go reps, either because they've been instructed they can't or because it's probably not the best strategy anyway. 14 parallel handstand push-ups to a 14-inch deficit at the other end of the field of play, and then 7 more cleans in the same manner to work their way back towards the starting line. 3 seconds, and here we go. Rankin Holt closest to us in the maroon. Frank Minervini in the white belt with the black T-shirt. Lionel Franco, no shirt, middle of the floor. Graham Winchester farthest from us.
Lionel Franco won the last event just 2 minutes ago. 4 minutes ago.
And Roman Burkan, excuse me, I skipped over him in lane number 2. The first man done with 4 cleans. 3 to go for all of these guys. Roman, the first one to get that bag up once again. See him just walking off screen there in the all-black attire. He drops the bag off. Minervini right after him, and then Holt and Winchester. Franco back at the field, but all men on the same rep.
We haven't seen anyone use the technique where they basically sandbag the first event so that they can come out and hard and guarantee the win for the second event.
True. I don't know if we will see that. Roman Burkan, last clean for him and Minervini up at the same time, and they drop it off at the minute 15 mark. We did see the Masters men cruise through that bag at about a minute, so it can be done faster, but parallel handstand push-ups very challenging, and we want to conserve some energy for those.
If
All
someone
five men have now dropped the bag, and we'll see who's first to kick up. It looks like it's going to be Burkan and Franco.
If we were to see that strategy, we probably would have seen it in the first heat, first or second heat.
The only reason I could kind of envision that would be you think that you have a
well, it could really affect, it would really affect the Z score.
Lizzie Self heading over to lane number 5 to inform the judge about the rule we talked about earlier. Rankin Holt, let's see if he does it here or if she forces him. He's been coming up with his feet wide and not bringing him back together. That's a definite no up on 2 counts, or at least it should be. You can go as wide as you want with your feet, but you have to bring them back together inside the width of the hands with the heels on the wall, with the hip open and arms locked out in order for any rep to count. Kenneth Dunlap, Seth Stovall had to withdraw prior to the start of the competition. A little bit of a tweak during training session. Approaching the 3-minute mark here. All the men still working on the handstand push-up. Rankin Holt with 1 rep to go. And that should be a no rep for sure. There's no...
Brian muting himself, frustrated, looking for someone to talk to. But it's too late. Rankin's already off with the bag. He has 1 rep. He leads. She sends him back. She does give him a no rep for that. He actually started to walk forward before he had control of the bag on his shoulder. The referee, the judge, sends him back. Let's go to the Sousa cam and get a close-up and see Rankin's face. Oh, deep breaths. He is breathing hard.
1 minute, 20 seconds to go till the time cap.
Oh. That's got to be painful and demoralizing. Each rep for this guy to get it up to his shoulder. Is this Rankin? Struggling to get it up to his shoulder. He does get it up there. And loses it off the back. Oh, and now Franco. Franco coming with a vengeance. Wow. Manhandling it. Each time he picks it up looks significantly easier than it is for Franco. For Rankin, sorry. Passes Rankin. And as Halpin said, Franco's strategy was just to win both events, and he's going to do that. I don't see a clock. I won't know his time. Halpin says Jesus forgives Winchester and his judge. Oh, that's Winchester? I thought it was a guy named Rankin. Or is it Winchester Rankin? Franco finishes, takes the knee. Oh, no, he did not finish. It looks like he did not finish. It looked like there was a time cap. We'll know shortly when Brian returns. We are now through 2 heats. Looks like the 3rd heat will be coming out soon. Oh, it looks like there's something contentious going on. We have J.R. Howell out on the floor speaking with the judges. Brian Friend is back. Maybe he can tell us what's going on. Did Franco finish, Brian, or did he get 1 rep short?
I'll have to check with the scorecards when they come in. There was something else I thought was more important to him. 2 reps short, Sousa says.
Okay, but he did win. So has nobody finished?
If he was 2 reps short, that means he was 1 rep better than Caden Myers, and he will have the current best time from the first, or best score from the first 2 heats.
Okay, so Franco did what he had to do. He won both of his heats, and maybe the best time in both.
He does have the top time and heat in the first event, or event 6, 2:56. He has the best score on event 7, which was 5 of 7 cleans on the way back down the floor.
Okay.
There are 4 more heats to come. The rest of these heats will be full heats of 6. We did lose one athlete. Josh Harden actually had to leave early, so he won't be competing. Every other one of the 33 athletes are lined up, so 32 remaining will be here. In lane 1, we're going to have Nick Reed. In lane 2, Wes Peters. In lane 3 will be Hal Fisher. Lane 4, Robert Yates. Lane 5, Jackson Drohan. And lane 6, Ryan Jevning.
I noticed in your notes you call him Robbie. You call him Robbie. Oh, Robert Yates. Okay, I thought he was your homeboy, and you just called him Robbie. Okay, Rob Y. Okay.
They wrote down Rob Y.
Yeah.
Robert Yates.
Okay, I'm gonna call him Robbie.
Here we go. Event number 6, heat number 3, Elite Men, the last division competing here at the 2023 Crash Crucible competition. This is the retour. Every one of these workouts was rewritten by J.R. Howell from a previous CrossFit Games or CrossFit Regionals. This one coming from the 2019 CrossFit Games. The version we're doing today is 14 ring muscle ups, 70 meters on the sled push, and 14 more ring muscle ups. 5-minute time cap. Best time we've seen so far, 2:56, Lionel Franco. Several hands go up at the same time. None of the men appear to be wanting to come down here. Nick Reed resting on the rings on the floor with 5 reps to go. Everyone else looks like they're going to go straight through. Jackson Drohan and Robert Yates, first 2 to the sled.
100 Mackin.
Hal Fisher, Robert Yates, and Wes Peters right behind them. Jevning locks out his last rep at the 1-minute mark. But it's Hal Fisher who's first done with the first half of the sled push as Nick Reed glances over the floor at Ryan Jevning.
Brian, why are they wearing shirts? Hunter McIntyre would like to know. This may be out of Brian's expertise, by the way.
I'm completely baffled. That's the hardest question anyone's asked me all week. Hal Fisher first back at the 1 minute, 30 seconds, and he wastes no time jumping up to the rings. Straight back on them. 14 more reps to go. Jackson Drohan about 10 seconds behind him, lost all that time on the sled push as they got off the first set of rings at the same time. Robert Yates, Wes Peters, Ryan Jevning all on their last of 4 pushes, including the 70 meters in the middle part of this, basically a mini pyramid style event. Jackson and Robert up on the rings as Hal takes a break. Wes Peters jumps up. Wes Peters, by the way, I knew he looked familiar. He usually competes with the 12 Labors team that always sends several teams to the semis and often a team to the games. Ryan Jevning and Nick Reed now back. All 6 men working on the muscle ups. 2:20 on the clock. 2:56 the score from Lionel Franco that they're trying to beat.
Hal took too long of a break, man.
Jackson Drohan in the tie-dyed shirt there, blue shorts, has yet to come down. 2 reps to go for him. Hal Fisher has a hand in the air, but Drohan, 2:40, 2 sets of unbroken muscle-ups, and he'll have the new best time to beat. And he marches off to get a little extra rest before event 7.
Can we get Drohan in the shot, please? I want to see what he's doing. Drohan.
He's on the other side of the floor resting.
Doesn't he have to carry a bag or something?
No, he's resting until that event starts.
Oh, that's it. He's done.
He's done. 2:40, new time to beat. Jackson Drohan, 2:56 from Lionel Franco has passed by. Roman Burkhan's time of 3:17 is about to pass by. 2 reps to go for Peters. The last rep here for Fisher with 1 to go, and he's grabbing his elbow. Hands in the air for everyone.
Did you
Peters
see an
done
injury?
at 3:30. Nick Reed done at 3:39. Hal Fisher 1 second after that. Ryan and Robert each with one left to go. Jevning locks it out at 3:52, and Yates at 3:55. So we have 1 minute to the time cap. A forced 2-minute rest then. So 3 minutes until event 7 will start.
And Drohan is a crash athlete, currently sitting in 22nd place, 211 points. And he has the record time on that of 2:40, beating Franco by 16 seconds. Still not the fastest time of the day.
Fastest amongst men. They do have a harder version, 4 extra muscle ups and 45 extra pound plate on the sled. Aaliyah Miller's time of 2:17, still the best we've seen from anyone, any version of this event. "15 seconds till the time cap, and then a 2-minute forced rest after that." There is Ryan Jevning. One more opportunity for the men in Heat 3 here to earn points. 700 total points available. 2 100-point scored events here to conclude things. A lot of drama in terms of the leaderboard. Tyler Watkins sitting very close to me here. We will be able to give some kind of an idea in terms of the picture for once the final men take the floor between event 6 and 7. Event 7 is going to be Rebag. Help him probably drop the notes in the chat there if you're going to have them exactly. But they're going to have to do 7 sandbag cleans with 200 pounds, 14 handstand push-ups to a 14-inch deficit, and 7 more sandbag cleans with 200 pounds. They'll advance the sandbag down the floor on the way out and back every time they do a clean to eliminate any doubt about the standards. Plus, it just looks nice.
I wonder how Hunter would do at this event. At the Crash Crucible. It's got a little, some of the events are like that Clorox thing he does. Enrique Noriega, thank you very much. Congratulations, Sevi and the team. Truly a great job. Yeah, thank you. Brian, Souza, Hiller, JR inviting us here. Will Brandstetter, Rick Jones, all the media people. Tyler Watkins. Who's the other scoring person? The lady.
Jen Green.
Jen Green.
Will Brandstetter has helped us with many technical issues throughout the weekend.
Some guy named Will.
Vindicate.
Dustin Weber, yeah, the Clorox World Champ. Thank you, Dustin.
15 seconds, event 7. For just joining us, this is Heat 3 of 6. This is the men's finale. It's a 2-part finale. They've already done event 6. This Heat has already done event 6. They're now doing event 7. Lane number 1 is Nick Reed. Lane 2, Wes Peters. Lane 3, Hal Fisher. Lane 4, Robert Yates. Lane 5, Jackson Drohan. And lane 6, Ryan Jevning. Jackson Drohan in the tie-dye shirt and blue shorts just set the new time to beat 2:40 on event number 6. Hal Fisher, the other man in blue shorts, leading the charge here on the sandbag cleans early. 5-minute time cap on this one. 7:14.7 the rep scheme. Those parallel handstand push-ups are definitely the deciding factor. Even though this is a heavy sandbag, everyone can just kind of find a way to get this done. If you hit fatigue on those handstand push-ups, you're just going to be standing around looking at the clock. Yes, Lenora, we have been talking about the leaderboard. It is updated. We'll pull it up for you guys in a minute. But right now there's 23 points between the top 5 men with 200 points remaining. Austin Hatfield was less than a 1-point lead over James Sprague. We'll get you up to date on all of that as the heats unfold. Right now we're 1 minute into a 5-minute time cap. Hal Fisher is going to be the first man to finish the first 7 cleans. Ryan Jevning also done with those. Drohan, Peters, and Reed, 1 more to go. Yates, 2 more to go. Both Jevning and Fisher staring at the wall as Peters finishes his last clean, Reed finishes his last clean, and Drohan finishes his. Drohan won that last event by his proficiency on the rings. We'll see if he has a similar capacity with the handstand push-up. It's Ryan Jevning, far side of the screen, the first to kick up. Now, the intended standard here, you can make the parallettes as wide as you want, and there is Drohan with a very fast cycle rate. He's using a kip where he pulls his legs off the wall in front of him to get a little extra momentum as he drives them back up.
How about the guy in lane? How about the guy in lane 3? Are his legs close enough together when he comes down?
We'll check the next time he kicks up. Drohan a little bit obstructed here based on this camera view. I wonder if Souza has him. He has a good kip in the blue shorts in lane number 5. Coming down from the wall here as Jevnin kicks up. Now, what is supposed to happen is that the feet can go as wide as you want, but as you see with Jevnin there, you must bring them back inside the parallettes with control, and the feel's still against the wall at the end of the rep. So he brought them back together, but couldn't keep them on the wall, and so that would be a no rep. Here we see Drohan bringing them together at the end and getting a good rep. And in lane 4, Yates not really doing that as he should be doing. Wes Peters kicks down in lane number 2 as Drohan kicks back up. Brings the feet together. Excellent. That's the good finishing position. Elbows locked out, hips open, heels on the wall, feet within the hands. Hand up for Drohan. We're at the 3-minute mark. We have had no men finish this one inside the cap so far. We did see several of the Masters men finish it earlier in the day. The best score coming in the previous heat, Leonel Franco getting 5 of the 7 cleans on the way back. 4 reps remain for Drohan. 4 reps remain for Peters in lane number 2. Now 3 reps for Drohan. Yates bails out of that one. Peters with another good rep. 3 reps remaining for him. Peters now 1 rep ahead of Drohan. Both men should have 2 reps remaining. Drohan gets 2 here. Let's see if he goes for the final one. And he gets it with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining. He's going to grab the belt and strap it up. Peters on the wall, as you see there, no shirt on, attempting his last rep, and he gets credit for that, so he'll move back to the bag. Drohan yet to get the belt strapped up, so Peters and Drohan loading up at the same time. 7 reps remaining, 50 seconds to go. They need to get 5 of these done to match Franco from the previous heat.
What's the time?
20 seconds to the cap. 7 reps would give them the first time that's underneath that. Drohan now 3 in the bank, 1 rep ahead of Peters.
Drohan won the previous event with a 2:40 time, best time of the day.
Drohan, much like Leonel Franco, is looking to establish the best time in both events 6 and 7 by the time he leaves the competition floor. 2 cleans to go, less than 20 seconds. He misses that one. He's currently at the exact same spot as Franco. 1 more rep will give him the edge. 10 seconds to go.
He's not going to get it.
Here. Peters gets it to the shoulder, and he drops that off. Drohan gets it up, steps forward, throws it down at the buzzer. Give Drohan credit for 6 of 7. So Drohan will have the new score to beat. Peters will match Franco with 2 reps short of finishing. We've still yet to see any man through 3 heats finish event 7. Jackson Drohan with the top score on both after having a 240 on event 6.
Drohan winning both of the events. Let's see, what place was he in? Oh, there he is, 22nd. 211 points, came into it with 211 points. Currently the leader with the fastest time in both, right? 6 of 7 and a 240.
Exactly right. Heat 4 of 6 getting ready to take the floor. Closing in on the conclusion of the 2023 Crash Crucible Retour. Earlier today, the teams, the Masters women, the Masters men, and the Elite females all have already finished. We've done the podium ceremonies here for all 4 of those divisions. Checks have been paid out. Leaderboards are on local comp. You can find those there. You can also go back and watch previous streams where we covered the action for all of those divisions. Only 3 heats remain. However, 200 points are on the line here. And as you see the leaderboard there for the men that we're about to watch, the top of the leaderboard, as some were asking about, is extremely, extremely tight. 1 point between the top 2 men and 23 points from 1st to 5th.
It's been great seeing Ty Jenkins compete here today. He's currently sitting in 14th place with 276 points. Ty is in lane number 4.
Closest to you, or on the right side of the screen there, Mike McDonald. He'll be in lane number 1.
Whoop, whoop.
Drake Lewis, dark gray T-shirt, lane 2. Brandon Smith, also both of those men coached by Adrian Conway in lane 3. There is Ty in the black. Harley, love the jersey, lane number 5. And lane number 6, Hunter Osment, rounding out heat 4 for the men.
All of these guys have had their moments this weekend through these previous 5 events. All of them have shined and had their moments. Brandon Smith started the weekend off great. Came in strong wearing the CEO shirt. Mike McDonald, a crash athlete. Harley's mom, making herself known in the chat, appreciative of the stream.
Heat 4 of 6, event 6 of 7. Re-ring, 14 ring muscle up, 70 meter sled push, 14 ring muscle up, 5-minute time cap, 2 minutes 40 seconds, the time to beat from the previous heat. Jackson Drohan of Crosser Crash establishing that time.
Tony Merton's in the chat. Colton will smash this.
Ty and Hunter dropping off, choosing to take a break here. Jackson Drohan, 2 unbroken sets of 14 ring muscle ups to set that time of 2:40. He didn't really push the pace on the sled, but obviously if you can do 14 in a row twice, that's a huge separator against most of the field. Drake Lewis and Brandon Smith going to be the first men off the rings alongside Mike McDonald and then Harley Pescolodito.
Did they do
1
the
rep left for Ty and Hunter? And at the 1-minute mark, once again, all the men done with 14 ring muscle ups.
Brian, did McDonald and Drake Lewis do it unbroken?
Oh, yes, as well as Brandon Smith.
Wow. So that is a must if you're going to win this, if you're going to beat this time of 2:40 set by Drohan.
I think yes, given that we saw from Jackson Drohan. And Brandon Smith, if we get a shot of his technique, he is standing upright, basically, pushing the sled, and he's pushing it faster than everyone else doing that. There you see Lewis and McDonald in a much more hunched over position. But coming back down the floor with no shirt on, you're going to see Brandon Smith. He's actually more leaned over now than he was, but standing very upright, marching the sled down the floor. This will be his final push at the 1-minute 40-second mark as he heads back to the rings. 14 muscle-ups to go, 1:45 on the clock, less than 1 minute to Drohan's time. And it'll have to be another unbroken set of 14 if he wants to beat that. Smith, brief pause, and he's up on the rings. He'll have a 2-rep lead over McDonald, Lewis, Jenkins, and Pescolodito. Very tight heat here in the heat number 4 of 6 for the elite men. This is event 6. They will stay on the floor for event number 7 as well. 200 points available here in the finale. Big point implications for everywhere on the leaderboard. And all of these men with the chance to impact still the top 3 positions. 5 men at the top separated by 23 points. Mike McDonald comes off the ring. Brandon Smith with a hand up in the air. He has yet to come down. 4 reps to go, and he does break. And that will mean that Jackson Drohan's time of 2:40 will stand 1 more heat. That time was just ticked by. Harley Pescolodito, the only one to stay on the ring so far. Hand up for him. He's definitely feeling the fatigue, but he's going to go for it. 5 reps left for Lewis. 4 reps left for Smith. 2 reps left for Harley. 2:51 on the clock.
Harley
Frankel's
going
time
for
was
it.
2:56. Harley's time is going to be 2:57.
So at this point, Drohan had finished.
Lewis fails his last rep. Hands up in the air for everyone else.
17
Smith drops off with 1 to go. Jenkins fails his last rep. McDonald's with 1 more to go. And McDonald no rep on the last rep. So 3 men with the no rep on the last one. Lewis done at 3:23. Smith done at 3:30. McDonald 3:32. Jenkins 3:33. Jenkins not happy about that. It's always a bummer to fail your last rep. 3 reps to go for Hunter Osment. 1 minute, 10 seconds to the time cap. 2 more reps for Hunter. He's going to drop down with 1 rep to go.
Harley 17 seconds behind Drohan, but and the third best
4:05,
score.
and Osman is done.
Harley was 1 second slower than Franco. So we have in first place so far, we have Drohan for the first event, then Franco, then Harley. 240, 256, 257. Every second counts, right, Brian? Especially with performance-based scoring. Some of the boys bend over, some of the boys stand straight, and some of them sit down. All the different resting positions.
5 minutes to the time cap. Event 6 in the books for heat 4 of 6 of the elite men. 2-minute rest here before taking on event 7. There will also be a 5-minute time cap. Event 6 had a gymnastics, weightlifting gymnastics order of operations. This will be weightlifting or strongman, really, with the sandbag, handstand push-ups for the gymnastics in the middle, and then strongman at the end. We've yet to see anyone finish. Jackson Drohan came within 1 rep of that. Lionel Franco. And
Harley's coach was making sure that he closes his legs at the top, giving him a little briefing ahead of time. I wonder if all the judges did that to their athletes.
Yeah. Lionel Franco and Wes Peters, coming within 2 reps of finishing, and young Caden Myers coming within 3 reps of finishing in the first heat. I'm hopeful we'll see a finisher here and get a time on the board. It's 7 sandbag cleans, 14 parallel handstand push-ups. That's been the problem for most of these guys, 14-inch deficit, and then 7 more sandbag cleans. What Sevan is talking about is the standard on the handstand push-ups. Really, the judges have been pretty good about enforcing that across the floor. We saw one instance earlier where it wasn't, but in the last heat was much better. They can get their legs wide if they want to, but they must bring them back together inside the hands with the heels on the wall, the hips and arms open at the top in order for the rep to count. That's the standard that's been briefed by J.R. Howell to all these athletes and the judges, and that's what we'll be looking for.
Brandon Smith came into this heat, or the heat before this, with 280 points, 13th place. Harley was 30 points behind him. The seedings have been great all day, all weekend.
10 seconds. Heat 4, Event 7, Elite Men, 2023 Retour, Crash Crucible. Here we go.
Enrique Noriega, we are using an iPhone to stream this, believe it or not.
200 pounds on the sandbag. They must clean it, advance it to the next section, and drop it off. Really love this standard here. Leaves little room for error in terms of any hip opening or showing control. You got to get it to the shoulder, walk it forward, and drop it off. Most of the men rep for rep here. Smith and Pescaladito now about a rep ahead. Smith's sandbag actually rolled too far into the section ahead of Vance to bring it back, allowing Osmond and Drake Lewis to catch up. Now Jenkins throws it down in that section as Pescaladito and Smith and Lewis and Osmond move ahead of him. Mike McDonald back of the pack right now. However, McDonald is pretty good at the gymnastics, as we saw on the rings, and I know that on the handstand push-ups he can do some damage as well. So once he gets there, keep an eye on Mike McDonald in lane number 1. We did see on the women's side, like Lindsay Lane and Lydia Fish, very good with the handstand push-ups, and despite Lydia Fish being one of the slowest on the bag, she was second best amongst all the women on this event. 1 minute and 10 seconds has passed. 4 of the 6 men are done, but none of them have attempted the handstand push-up left. Pescaladito is going to be the first. You see him in the middle of the screen there in the black shorts. 1 rep to go for Jenkins and McDonald. Drake Lewis is also up working on his first parallel handstand push-ups. Brandon Smith is going to kick up. Hunter Osmond's going to kick up. McDonald's going to dump his bag for the last time. Jenkins going to do the same. And I'll let you know when McDonald kicks up. I'm expecting a big set from him, and potentially, as I don't see anyone who looks to be super proficient with these in these fields, McDonald could make a move from the back to the front of the pack on these. Jenkins kicks up relatively quickly. Lewis is down. Smith is down. Osmond's down. Harley's chipping away. He's about halfway through his reps, but they're getting difficult. McDonald is up in lane number 1. The only thing I don't like is that his necklace is hanging into his face, and he's only done 2 reps there, so not what I was expecting from McDonald off the bat.
Brandon Smith is going to have a tough day at the wall. His first rep was a struggle. He's a large man. He's behind that referee, legs wide open, brings them together, gets his second rep.
Another tough rep for Mike there. I believe that's 4. Lewis locks out another rep. Jenkins with a good one. Osmond in the far lane, another good rep, and he'll stay on the wall. Hunter Osmond, keep an eye on him in lane number 6. And judge's hand is in the air for Drake Lewis. I don't see any other judge's hand in the air. 4 reps to go for Lewis.
McDonald getting a pair.
Harley back on the wall. I have to imagine he's within the last 5 reps. 2. Oh, not sure if Lewis got that rep or not. 2, maybe. Yep, 2 reps to go for Lewis. 4 reps to go for Harley as the judge's hand does go up.
Ty Jenkins gets another pair.
McDonald and Lewis. Lewis, I believe that was his last rep. Okay, so we have had 3 minutes and 15 seconds pass. 1 minute, 45 seconds to the cap, and Drake Lewis is poised to be our first finisher amongst the men in event number 7. 6 cleans to go. Walk it back down the floor the same way we came. 1 minute and 30 seconds to the time cap. Hands up in the air for several athletes on the wall, but Lewis remains alone on the sandbag up to this point.
Souza, get him.
Minute 15 to the cap. 2 reps to go for Harley on the wall. 3 reps to go for Jenkins. Drake Lewis, 3 reps to go on the sandbag clean. And now 2 reps to go as we approach the 4-minute mark. 1 rep left for Jenkins, who's passed. No, Osmond has come off the wall. 1 clean for Lewis to go, and this will be the first time and the best score we've seen. He drops it off at the 4:11 mark. Hunter Osmond, 45 seconds to go, and he's working on the sandbag cleans up there against the wall. 3 reps down, 4 to go for Osmond as he takes the knee. 40 seconds. Ty Jenkins is now working on the bag, and he's within 2 sections. Harley and these guys are completely devastating here. 30 seconds to go. Last 30 seconds of the weekend. Love to see him dig deep and get as many cleans as they can. Great effort there from Osmond. He dumps it forward for his 4th rep. 3 reps to go. 20 seconds on the clock. Jenkins gets another rep. Osmond yet again picks it up and walks it forward. Harley is done on the wall. He'll get to work on the sandbag. 10 seconds to go. Osmond and Jenkins both off the ground. Osmond's going to dump it off, so he'll come up 1 clean short. He's going to try for it. 3 seconds. No rep for Osmond. Good rep for Jenkins. So Jenkins will come up 3 clean short. Osmond will come up 1 clean short, matching the score from Drohan. So a great finish to the competition for Hunter Osmond. Very solid as well for the young Ty Jenkins, who, as many of you in the comments have said, has impressed from start to finish out here, really holding his own against what I would consider a semifinal caliber field.
Brian, do you remember Drake Lewis's score from the event number 6?
Drake Lewis's score in event number 6 was 3:23.
Ooh. That was
5th best of any man that we've seen so far. And of course, he had the best score on event number 7. What? Do you know what place he came into this one in?
In 15th.
15th, but with
259
available and the performance-based scoring system, we have seen massive point shifts. Lewis could still potentially climb into the top 10 on the back of 2 great performances there at the end of the day on Sunday. Heat 5 is already out there on the floor. These are going to be the athletes 7 through 12 on the leaderboard. Beautiful screen framing there from Sevan. Max Creek drops from the top heat down to this heat. He's in 7th place. Bill Leahy will be in the final heat. We'll see him go against the top 5 guys later on. Marquand Jones, look at that, 15th and 6th on the last 2 events. No, maybe that's previous events. Anyway, he had 2 good scores, a good score, 6th place earlier today to bump up to 8th. Quentin McQueen hanging tough in the top 10. One of the surprises of the weekend. Daniel Sterling still in 10th. Sebastian Jollis, 11th. Mike Needleman, 12th. I think Mike Needleman is one to watch on this one. Very proficient with the gymnastics.
A fast-moving schedule. We are at the Crucible at CrossFit Crash. Final day, final 2 events. They are short and fast and exciting. We are looking at heat number 5. Only 1 heat left. I don't believe that the winner for the Crucible is in this heat. Although it is mathematically possible, I don't believe it is in this heat.
No, we definitely agree about that. There's too many killers in the last one, and they got the points lead to go with it.
But these guys can affect the performance-based scoring. No. Let me rephrase that. They will affect the performance-based scoring.
Absolutely. Lane number 6, Mike Needleman in the blue shorts there. Shay Dance loving that, I guess. Daniel Sterling, blue tank top. Lane number 5, Marquand Jones, red shorts. Lane number 4. On the right of him is Max Krieg in the black shorts. Quentin McQueen still sporting the J.R. Howell support jersey from 2021 with the orange shorts, and farthest away from us, no shirt and the black shorts. In lane number 1, Sebastian Jollis. This is event number 6. This is heat 5 of 6 for the elite men. It's called a re-ring. 14 ring muscle ups, 70 meters on the sled push. It's 2 trips down and back on the turf. You'll end up where you started for 14 more ring muscle ups. 240, the best time we've seen. That was Jackson Drohan. Lionel Franco, 256. And Harley, was it Harley? I have a chicken scratch.
Harley at 257, Brian, 257.
There it goes. Those are the 3 guys who are underneath 3 minutes so far. The best time we saw on the women's side was 217 from Aaliyah Miller. They did have a little fewer reps in a lighter sled. We'll see if any of these guys can track that time down.
If you come off the rings, you will not be in the top 5.
Daniel Sterling, also an excellent gymnast. He's off the rings first. McQueen and Jollis right behind him. Needleman and Krieg. And in the back there, Marquand Jones with 1 rep to go. And once again, every man in this heat done underneath 1 minute. First turnaround on the sled sees McQueen and Jollis and Needleman pull ahead of Sterling. Now, this looks eerily similar to what we saw from Jackson Drohan. Jackson Drohan was not that aggressive on the sled, but he did have 14 more unbroken ring muscle-ups in his back pocket for the second set, and that was what allowed him to set the top time to beat. While Needleman is running with the sled, Daniel Sterling is moving extremely methodically and actually kind of slow. That does not necessarily mean that this is not intentional, however. So it's going to be Needleman, Jollis, and McQueen, the first 3 back to the rings. A minute 35 is ticked off on the clock. Sterling, Krieg, and Jones all also working on their last sled push. Needleman, the leader here, 14 reps to go. We're at the minute 45 mark, so 55 seconds before Drohan's time. Quentin McQueen chalking up as he looks at Needleman. Needleman's going to have 2 reps ahead of McQueen. McQueen, the second man up to the rings. In the blue tank top is Daniel Sterling. He wastes no time getting back up there, and we'll keep an eye on Sterling to see if he comes off or not. But right now it's Needleman, McQueen, Sterling, Krieg, Jollis, and Jones all working on the ring. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to pass, 30 seconds to Drohan's time.
Watch McQueen over there in the blue shirt, and if he comes off, then watch Sterling. It's between McQueen and Sterling, the 2 blue shirt guys.
That's right. Needleman in the blue shorts has already dropped. We're at the 2:25 mark. We'll look for a hands judge in the air. Both of those men in blue shorts have dropped, but Sterling's judge has a hand in there. So does McQueen. Both men with 5 reps to go.
Marquand.
Drohan time is going to stand. Needleman with the judge's hand in the air.
Marquand is not
with the judge's hand in the air. Marquand Jones potentially on purpose 3 sets on the first set. He's going for the unbroken set here. Savvy veteran play by the oldest man in the elite field. Marquand Jones locks it out, 2:53. Best time we've seen other than Drohan. Very clever. McQueen done at the 2:59 mark. Sterling with 1 rep to go. Needleman's done just over 3 minutes. Marquand Jones playing the veteran card. Slow out the gates. He saved the 14 for the second half. 2:53, second best time we see. Sterling now in at 3:18. 2 reps to go for Jollis, 3 reps to go for Krieg. You like that, Sevi? I know you like that.
Props to Sterling for going for it. Props to Marquand Jones for making me eat my words.
Quentin McQueen with the time underneath 5 minutes. Very impressive in his own regard. Sebastian Jolliffe, last rep here, he finishes at the 3:40 mark. Max Krieg fading a little bit relative to an excellent start on day one as he's fallen out of the last heat, and he's last amongst this heat on this event. Still going to finish well underneath the cap. 1 or 2 reps to go. Can't quite tell how many fingers are in there. It looks like 2 from that angle. 4-minute mark has passed. 1 minute to the time cap. 2 reps to go for Krieg.
These guys know they are in the second to final heat. They know it's go time. These guys all went full blast. We saw the guys running with the sleds. We saw them trying to do the biggest unbroken sets. Marquand did bring, as Brian would say, the veteran mindset into it. I'm wondering if it's his idea or his coach's idea, but clearly these guys are going full tilt at this, and respect to all these athletes for putting it all on the line, especially Sterling. He really, really went for it.
4:30 for Krieg. He gets it done under the cap. 20 seconds until the forced transition. 2 minutes and 20 seconds until event 7 will start. This is the 5th of 6th heat for the elite men. It's the final division that we have here to finish out Sunday at the Crash Crucible Retour 2023. All these workouts are rewritten regionals and games workouts. Missed any of the coverage. There's been some great action Friday, Saturday, earlier today, and the men are finishing things out here. The last event is rebag. It will be a sandbag clean, parallel handstand push-up, sandbag clean, mini down and back chipper to round things out for heat number 5, 1 minute, 45 seconds from now.
I believe Marquand Jones has the second fastest time of the day on that re-ring workout we just saw with a 2:53. Is that correct?
Correct. Jackson Drohan's 2:40 remains the top time.
Oh,
Jones 2:53, Franco 2:56, Pescaladito 2:57, McQueen 2:59, and Needleman I think was 3:01. So a lot of times right around that 3-minute mark. Drohan, even though it's not a ton of seconds, relative to the total amount of laps time, is still having some cushion between him and the next fastest finishers.
If Marquand gets a big finish on this, he will jump significantly, I suspect, from his current 8th place with 316 points.
And worth keeping in mind before the final men do come out, Jones was last off the first set of rings, but he had 14 unbroken on the back half, allowing him to pass all 5 of those men who were more aggressive on the first set of 14. It's something that I actually talk about with athletes when I used to coach a little bit more frequently, is think about the totality of the reps. What's a reasonable number of breaks? He might have looked at 28 and said, I think I can do that in 3 sets or 4 sets. Either way, he took both of his breaks in the first half and saved himself in the last half, while the other guys were taking longer breaks towards the end because his breaks in the beginning were shorter. 20 seconds to go. Heat number 5 of 6, event 7 of 7. Last chance for these men to make an impact on the leaderboard for themselves. And, of course, anyone else is the performance-based scoring. Every score impacts the median score, and the median score and the top score are the 2 data points that will dictate the point per second.
Souza, great job getting the close-ups. We drop back to the wide, you reposition, and back to your camera. Crazy, dude. Good work.
7 sandbag cleans. They must advance it forward every time and drop it off. 200 pounds on the sandbag. Once they get down the floor, 14 Parallette handstand push-ups with a 14-inch deficit await them. The handstand push-ups are absolutely the crux of this one. Sandbag is heavy. All of these guys have figured out a way to move that. Not all of the men have figured out a way to get through the handstand push-ups.
McQueen, Hunter McIntyre 2.0, manhandling the bag. Brian, do you know where Marquand Jones trains?
I think someone answered it in the chat. Mike Needleman, the first man done with the sandbag at the 52nd mark. He's in lane number 6 there in the blue shorts, crouching down, and he's going to kick up to the wall very fast. Needleman, first reps in the books as McQueen, Sterling, and Krieg drop off their sandbag. Marquand Jones, once again, off to a little bit of a slow start here. We'll see if he has another trick up his sleeve when it comes to the gymnastics. Quentin McQueen, we need to get footage of this. These are the fastest handstand push-ups we've seen of any man so far. There were a couple women that looked similar to this. They had a 5-inch less deficit. There was a very fast set, I believe, of 6 reps for McQueen. And he's standing close to the wall, which you like to see this. This is an indication that he's confident and that he's ready to go for another set. And sure enough, he does kick up. He's in the orange shorts. It was the surprise story on day 1. He's 22 years old. He trains here at CrossFit Crash. JR does program a lot of Parallette work in their class programming, and their competitors train these quite frequently. But this is the best we've seen anyone look from Crash or otherwise so far. Hand in the air, and he kicks back down. These still look like strong reps, but the fatigue obviously settling in. All the men chipping away. Marquand Jones in the red shorts there was the best in this heat in event number 6. Slow on the sandbag, but pretty methodical here on the wall, as you see him yet to fail a rep, and that's probably the most important thing. These are big efforts to get every rep. The less amount of misses you can have, the better. Sterling fighting for a rep there. If you weren't with us earlier, the feet can go wide. They have to bring him close with the heels on the wall. And by close, I mean inside the hands at the top. Shoulders open, hips open. That's how you finish a rep. Of course, the rep starts and ends at the top, and you have to touch the head at the bottom. There's McQueen with another fast rep. And the last rep, and he'll turn around. 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. He's celebrating early. We know that he loves the sandbag. He laughs that off. 6 reps to go.
4:11, the time to beat.
4:11 exactly from Drake Lewis is the time to beat. Celebrated a little bit early there. He's still got some work to do. It is still 7 sandbag cleans at 200 pounds. We're just bridging the 3-minute mark. He's done 3, 4 to go. So give me a minute. Many hands up in the air on the wall behind him.
Come on.
3:15 on the clock, so less than a minute into Lewis's time. Lewis, the only finisher we've seen so far. Several athletes have come within a couple reps.
Constance, great question. Can you touch and go the sandbag? We did see Jamie Latimer in the women's masters division do that. We've also been told
Marquand Jones in the background has finished up the handstand push-ups, once again passing 4 of the 5 guys on the gymnastics despite a slow start on the sandbag. Quentin McQueen, 1 rep to go. He's got about 25 seconds to Drake Lewis's time. So McQueen, when he drops this one at the 3:50 mark, 3:50, Quentin McQueen will have the time to beat in event number 7, but with 1 heat to go. Marquand Jones, with 1 minute to go, has a chance to be our 3rd finisher. Mike Needleman has also finished the handstand push-ups. 2 reps to go for Sterling, 2 reps to go for Krieg. Jala's still working on them. 2 cleans to go for Marquand Jones as we pass by Drake Lewis's score of 4:11. So McQueen and Lewis, 1 and 2 so far. Marquand Jones, 1 clean left to go. This will be the 3rd best time we've seen from any man so far. He gets it across the line. And a great performance. 2nd best on event 6 so far. 3rd best on event 7. 11:25 for Jones. And he asks for it from the crowd. Really, really well executed there for Marquand Jones.
What was his bag time? Yeah, he looked smooth on the bag. The smoothest we've seen yet.
4:26, I believe. Needleman with 15 seconds to go. He's done 3 cleans. These reps are big for him. We've had 6 other men get to this point or further. His bag rolls forward, and that'll mean that'll be the last rep. So he'll be one of those to join the party with 3 reps to go. Max Krieg, he'll get 2 cleans out of 7. Good effort for him in the end. Sterling and Jollis ultimately caught up on the wall. So 2 finishers in that heat. Quentin McQueen fastest at 3:50. 3 total finishers on the event, 7 total. Drake Lewis from a previous heat with the 2nd best time at 4:11. And Marquand Jones, I believe, 4:26. Marquand Jones also with the best time in the heat on event 6, 2:53, only bested so far by Jackson Drohan's 2:40.
So McQueen and Marquand Jones having fantastic finishes. Marquand on both events. He got a 2:53, which is maybe the 2nd or 3rd fastest time on the Bring Muscle Up one. And on the bag event, he got a 4:26, which I believe is the 2nd or 3rd fastest time. Marquand could make a huge jump. He did what he needed to do. And McQueen holds the record, correct, in the bag workout at 3:50. They currently sit in 8th and 9th place. And now comes out the final heat. These guys are in control of their own destiny. Cape Dastro, 1069, Sevan Bryan, what a weekend. Unprecedented coverage, changing the game. My CEO always finds a way to get it done. Reminds me of early the Sevan Podcast days with Brian and Sevan. Mertens for the win. Trish, and I can't say that word.
90 seconds until the start of the final heat of men. They have 2 opportunities, each worth 100 points. As you look at the leaderboard there, from Hatfield to Mertens is 23 total points. Obviously, Hatfield and Sprague separated by less than 1, and we must give some credit to Bill Leahy. After day number 1, he was in 20th place. He's climbed all the way up to 6th and has a chance, with still 28% of the total points available, to go head-to-head against the best men here. We've been looking for him to get another chance at a shot against men of this caliber after having to withdraw from the North America West semifinal. And he's done his part up to this point. Let's see what he's got. We have ring muscle-ups and sled. We'll have a reset before sandbag and handstand push-ups. Very high skill, big demand on the gymnastics. This one's called a re-ring.
Let's not forget that Colton Mertens dug himself out of a hole also. And it will be, if he does win this, it will be a dramatic climb. I don't remember where the lowest
from
point
8th
was.
all the way up to 5th. A very big climb.
Oh, come on. He was below 8th, wasn't he, at one point? What was the lowest he was?
20th to 6th is 14 spots. Now, Colton was way behind the leaders after that day in points. And on the point side of things, yes, he's put himself in a position where he could still potentially win this thing. You see him there in lane number 1. Coots, who was the leader after day 1 in lane 2. Hatfield, the current leader, in lane 3. Sprague, the leader yesterday in lane 4. Jack Rosema, do not sleep on this man in lane number 5. And Bill Leahy, who we talked about, the only man opting to wear a shirt here in lane number 6.
Leahy was a little late to the rings. He was the last man up on the rings.
We've seen some different strategies pay off. Jackson Drohan, 2:40, the best time so far. He did both sets of ring muscle-ups unbroken. 14 ring muscle-ups, 70 meters on the sled push, 14 ring muscle-ups. Marquand Jones, the second best man we saw, 2:53. He took 3 sets on the way out, but was unbroken on the way back and passed his entire heat with that unbroken set on the rings. No one coming off the rings here. All of the men are about to drop off at the 40-second mark, but they'll all be a few steps behind Mertens. It's Mertens, Hatfield, Sprague, Leahy, Rosema, and Coots at the 48-second mark. Hands on sleds for all 6 men in the final heat. They'll have to go down and back twice. It's an empty sled plus the 45-pound plate. 70 meters is the distance. You don't necessarily need to run with this. We've seen deliberate paces on the sled be okay in the case that you have the muscle-ups in the bank. Mertens and Hatfield moving with purpose, jogging. Sprague with the long strides. Now he's transitioning to the jog to try to keep up with the other 2 gentlemen. All 4 men within 20 meters of themselves here. It's Hatfield and Mertens leading the charge. Sprague, Leahy, Coots, and Rosema. 1:25 on the clock. Hatfield looking up at the rings. Mertens reaches for the chalk as Hatfield shakes the arms out, glances at the clock himself. Sprague in the chalk up. Hatfield on the rings. Mertens on the rings. We'll see who's got it in the tank. 14 reps to go. Coots, the fastest transition of anyone. Leahy not wasting any time. Sprague is back up, and Rosema watches the rest of the men get to work before he gets set at the 1:45 mark. 2:40, the best time we've seen so far. Let's see if any of these men come off the rings.
Colton cycling faster than Hatfield. He's about 2 reps ahead of Hatfield. I'm guessing he's at about 9 and Hatfield's at about 7. Although Hatfield jumped on the rings.
Colton's judge never puts his hand in the air the whole day. 3 reps to go for Hatfield. I think Colton must have 2 reps to go. Last rep going to be for Colton here. 1 rep for Colton. 1 rep for Colton, 2:15. Hatfield, 2:16.
Crazy.
1 rep to go for almost everyone out there. Coots, 2:25. Leahy, 2:26. Wait, Coots has 1 to go. Leahy, 2:25. 1 rep to go for Coots. 3 reps to go for Sprague. He drops down. 2 reps for Rosema. Coots struggling. Needs the lockout. Gets it. 2:38 for Coots. That's ahead of Drohan. 2:40 for Rosema. Matches Drohan. James Sprague now hanging behind the pack. Still a fast time, but last amongst these men. And he locks that out at 2:51. My goodness.
Now, I want to show you guys something with this performance-based scoring. Even though Colton Mertens won, him and Hatfield will basically have the same score. Because as Brian said, Colton had finished at 2:15, Hatfield at 2:16. But what does happen is Sprague and Coots will drop down. I'm not sure where Rosema finished, but it will start becoming tight between Colton and Hatfield in terms of the fact it looks like they will be 1 and 2. I don't know this for sure, but going into this final event. But I suspect Colton will still be about 20 points behind Hatfield. So Colton's going to have to do something very special here, and he's going to need some help from the other athletes. Brian, do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I actually think Hatfield's going to separate from the group, and Mertens is going to close the gap between him and the three men you see ahead of him on the screen. I'm not sure, again, about the order of Sprague, Coots, and Rosema, but I think that basically the 20-point margin from Mertens to Sprague is going to disappear, and Hatfield's going to have a little bit of a lead going into this one. Tyler Watkins is entering the scores right now. Because those guys were so fast, we still have 1 minute till the time cap and then 2 minutes forced transition. We should have an update in terms of scoring from Tyler before the men start the final event. Again, that was 100 points. That's done and dusted. We'll let Tyler settle things over there. There's another 100 points up for grabs, and that deficit handstand push-up is looming as something that could play an impact for all of these men in any number of directions.
You're looking at the 18th fittest man walking on planet Earth today. Colton Mertens steps into the back. J.R. Howell, the event organizer, the owner of CrossFit Crash. Daniel Coots putting on a great show for us today. Next to him, Austin Hatfield. Austin and Colton doing some friendly shit talking before the event, getting us hyped up. James Sprague. If you're a CrossFit Games fan, a beloved athlete by everybody, young. We're going to have a long, long relationship as fans with this gentleman here, James Sprague. The infamous William Leahy, great to see him here, and Jack Rosema, making a name for himself. Get some highlights himself during the weekend, including on the hundreds workout, warring with Colton Mertens. I suspect they have a 2-minute break in between the events, but most of the guys are getting 4 and 5 minutes because of how fast they finished.
We got about 1 minute, 20 seconds until the start of event 7 for Elite Men Heat number 6. Austin Hatfield is the current leader. Tyler Watkins has given me the updated scores. He has a 23-point lead over Colton Mertens. Mertens has a 1-point lead over James Sprague.
Ooh.
Sprague has a 3-point lead over Daniel Coots. Coots has 7 points over Rosema. Bill Leahy was well behind these guys to start things off, but he did close the gap a little bit relative to the field with a good performance there, but not really in contention relative to the other 5 if we're talking about podium potential.
So basically, doing the back of the napkin math, how they finish, besides Bill Leahy, is how they're going to finish at the end of the day, with the exception of Hatfield because he has such a big lead. So if we can watch Hatfield maybe take 3rd on this, then we'll have something really interesting to wait for from Tyler Watkins after the event. But
correct, and because we've had so few finishers in terms of time, there's a lot of variables in terms of how he factors in all the time-capped athletes. But 3 reps based on what we've seen so far is what Mertens would need to beat Hatfield by if they don't finish. I think they're both going to finish. Last 5 minutes of work here for the top individual men. Mertens on the left, Coots, Hatfield in the green shorts, the current leader. James Sprague has put his shirt on. Rosema and Bill Leahy over there against the wall has taken his shirt off. 7 sandbag cleans with a 200-pound sandbag. They'll march it down the floor, advancing it 1 section every time they do. 14 Parallette handstand push-ups, 14-inch deficit waiting for them at the other end. If they finish those, 7 more cleans with the sandbag, and they'll head back down the other way.
James Sprague, a lot of ground to cover, picking that bag off the ground and bringing it to his shoulder, but also moving it like a big man.
And James
Sprague is where we
5
made
inches taller than any other athlete in this heat. Bill Leahy, 4 inches taller than Leahy at 4'11". The rest of the men checking in at 5'9", 8, 4, and 4.
We should see Colton shine here.
If you're just joining us, 14-inch deficit. You can put the parallettes as wide as you want. Your legs can go as wide as you want, but they must come back together at the top inside the width of the parallettes.
Colton is landing on his head. He's not come off the wall yet. I think that might be 7. 8.
We're at the 90-second mark, and hands in the air for Mertens. We've seen nobody do a set this big in any division. 2 reps to go for Mertens. Readjust the grip there. And for anyone who thinks that the deficit is a disadvantage for someone who's not that tall, think again. Colton Mertens, unbroken 14 parallel handstand push-ups at 14 inches at the minute 50 mark. The best time we've seen was Quentin McQueen at 350. Performance-based scoring means that anything here is on the table. If these guys struggle and Colton puts down a big time, 23 points is nothing in terms of erasing it. Austin Hatfield in the background with 1 rep to go. He's the current leader. He's the man that Mertens needs that separation from more than anything. Hands up for several of the other athletes, but it's Mertens and everyone else right now. Hatfield locks out his last rep, and he's trailing behind him. We're at the 2-minute and 20-second mark. Hatfield with 1 clean done. Mertens with 3 cleans remaining. Mertens 2 more cleans to go. Hatfield 5 cleans to go. 2.5 minutes into the 5-minute time cap. It's Rosema with 1 rep to go on the wall. Mertens with 1 rep to go on the bag. Sevan, mark this time down. Colton Mertens is going to be your Event 7 winner. 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Mertens doing everything that was necessary, and everyone at home, I'm sure, is on their feet celebrating for him. Hatfield looks bewildered with 4 reps to go. Jack Rosema, who you said to never count out, he's the 3rd man done with the handstand push-ups. Hand up in the air for Leahy. Hoots and Sprague still stuck on the wall. Another rep for Hatfield. Time is ticking away. We're still not within 40 seconds of Quentin McQueen's time. To put in perspective how impressive what Colton Mertens just did, as someone else said, ski bag winner at the games, rebag winner at Crash Crucible for Colton Mertens. 2 reps to go for Hatfield, hand on his knees. Now 3 reps to go for Rosema. He's still battling for a podium spot with all the other 3 men in this heat, specifically Sprague and Coots on the wall. Rosema could be joining Hatfield and Mertens on the podium.
What's the time?
2:35, 1 clean to go. 3:35. So McQueen's time within 10 seconds here. Hatfield comes across the line at 3:43, second best we've seen, but way behind Mertens, a full minute behind him. Or fat, I don't even know what Mertens' time was. Jesus Christ. Jack Rosema last rep. McQueen will be 3rd best. Rosema 3:55, the 4th man underneath 4 minutes. 1 rep to go for Sprague. 1 rep to go for Leahy. Cooch just got his last rep in the book. We have 1 minute to go. All these men need these reps. No idea where the points are going to fall. We've only had a handful of finishers, so these are still top 10 performances. Coots with 1 rep down. Sprague with 1 rep down. Leahy with 1 rep down. Coots and Sprague advance. They're 1 rep ahead of Leahy. 20 seconds until the time cap. Let's see if they can finish. They know that everything is on the line here. They see the other 3 guys at the end of the floor. Sprague is now past Coots by half a rep. Leahy within half a rep of Coots. 30 seconds to the time cap. They might still be able to finish. Sprague 2 reps to go. Leahy and Coots 3 reps to go. These men are giving everything they got at the end of 3 days of competition. 1 more rep for Sprague. 20 seconds till the time cap. Leahy cruising on the bag. He's past Coots. Sprague in at 4:47. Leahy, excellent performance, 4:50, and Daniel Coots is going to finish under the time cap at 4:53.
Dang. Dude, Leahy handled his business right there.
I mean, Bill Leahy, they won a little slow. Day 2 and 3 answered all the questions that we had, but Austin Hatfield, who came up because of a bobble on a sandbag short of making the games this year to Spencer Panchik, is going to finish at worst 2nd place. And if you finish the 2nd to Colton Mertens, who was 18th at the games and is a 3-time games qualifier the last 3 years, I mean, that's all that Austin Hatfield needs to know, that he is good enough to compete against CrossFit Games athletes.
Austin Hatfield did take 2nd place out of all the heats, correct?
Yes, he had the 2nd best score of anyone.
2:43 for Mertens and 3:50 for McQueen, and he came in.
You said 2:43 for Mertens?
Yeah.
It was 3:43 for Hatfield. So exactly 1 minute between them. Basically, that's 4 minutes. That's 75% better, or 25% better than the next closest man. It's reminiscent of Matt Fraser on Friendly Fran. It's reminiscent of Laura Horvath on the ski bag. It's one of the best performances that we've seen here in terms of compared to the competition.
Impressive finishes, let's not forget, by Coots, Sprague, and William Leahy there at the end. That was quite the race.
Don't forget about Jack Rosema.
Yes,
Jack Rosema was in the conversation, 7 points behind Coots and 10 points behind Sprague prior to the start of that. he did phenomenal. Beat both those guys by a considerable margin. I still think Rosema might be the third man on the podium.
I think
Battle
you're
between
right.
Coots and Sprague and Leahy at the end on the sandbags was phenomenal for all three of those guys to get in under the time cap, and we had more finishers in that heat than we had in the previous 5 heats combined.
Wow. That's a statement. More on the line. There's levels to this. Did you see Jason? Oh, look, Jason Hopper. Oh, let's make that big. Jason Hopper and Taylor Self look like they're about to get in a fight. Let's see that.
Yeah, Tyler Watkins, you see there. He's entering in the scores. I don't know if we want to announce them on
get
here
that.
or
Frame
not.
that. Frame that up good. Let's see. This will be extra. We're going to switch this to pay-per-view. Did you see Jason watching Colton? He knew he was witnessing greatness. Jason Hopper looking at Colton Mertens within arm's reach.
Give me 1 second, Sevan. I'll be right back.
Colton Mertens finished 13 places higher than Jason Hopper this year at the games. Jason knew he was looking at a phenomenal athlete. Oh, I think I saw Kiefer from Underdog Athletic. Talking to Will. There's Will Brandstetter. Oh yeah, there is Kiefer. I think her name is Pert from Training Think Tank. She either has a great piece of taffy in her mouth or some Bubblicious. Pedro from Coffee Pods and Wads with the complimentary.
Sevan, are you there?
Sweatshirt. I am.
Souza, are you there?
Vindicate.
Souza,
There's
can
my
you hear
boy
me?
Travis Bellinghausen.
Can you hear me?
Yes. No, Susie.
All right, I just spoke with JR. So Tyler's going to enter the scores into the performance-based scoring. We're not going to update them on local comp, and we're not going to announce them on the air because right now the podium's already set, and we're going to do the podium as soon as we have the results.
Disgusting.
So Souza can go over to the podium, and we'll get the results live from JR Howell minutes after we have them from Tyler Watkins.
Let me tell you. I'm going to tell you guys who won here. Actually, I don't know. I'm a little confused because of that 75% thing that Brian said. So here's the problem. We know that Colton needed somewhere between 23 and 28 points going into that event to win. And what Brian is telling us with that, what's it called? PBD? Point-based, performance-based scoring, that Colton may have gotten about 25 points on second place because he had 25% faster time. So it's going to be very close between Austin Hatfield and Colton Mertens. And then James Sprague and Daniel Coots, they had a war, but Jack Rosema, as Brian pointed out to us, may have had done enough to sneak by both of them because he beat both of them in the workout. So I don't know who's going to win. It's going to be very close. Let me show you the scores.
Sevan, if you would like to, we can pull up the results from the women that we haven't seen yet.
Yep.
Live here on the game site or on the local comp site. We did the podium for the women earlier today, and look at how close it was at the top.
Wow.
Lindsay Lane by 1 point over Lydia Fish. Callista Lang by 1 point over Emily B. Roth for fourth. And Ellie Hiller, who was nowhere in sight, much like Bill Leahy after day one, climbed all the way back up to fifth. Brianna Wallen, 9 months after pregnancy, taking sixth. Chloe Wilson, seventh.
Not even, and look how close Chloe Wilson and Emma Harvang are.
And Ariel Sanders making her name known here this week with the top 10 finish. Ashley Shoemaker, Danielle Dunlap, Elliot Miller making a climb back up after a tough day one. Several semifinal athletes there finishing right around the 10th place. But Lindsay Lane, who I had picked to be third here this weekend, or third or fourth, I can't actually remember, with the event win. Lydia Fish, I did not know would be this good this weekend. She was at semifinals this past spring as well. Callista Lang, really strong finish. And Emily B. Roth just narrowly missing out on the podium, but a great weekend for her nonetheless.
Bernie Gannon, if a games athlete finishes off the podium, would that be considered a fairly big disappointment for them? I don't know. I'm starting to suspect that these guys, like just hearing from just some rumblings from Chloe Wilson, who's arguably one of the better females out there, that this was just kind of a tune-up just to see where she is in the off season. She knew she wasn't in the best shape coming into it. I do think, though, someone like Colton or James Sprague comes here to gather some cash. The fancy word for you don't know where you are in your training, referred to as tapering. Andrew Hiller, his chick, a pan of the.
Hey, you could already see
facility.
the numbers are being filled up. JR's crew here is already hard at work getting. I'm assuming restoring the gym back to its normal state so they could most likely run classes early tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Hey, how do they get those up? How do they get those up? Do they have a heat gun or something? How do you get
No. They're just big stickers. This is a trash right here. So they're just big decals, just like a normal decal. And last night we laid them down and you just peel them on up.
I need a big one like that for the Sevan podcast. Stick on the hood of my car.
Oh, we'll make that happen.
On my 69 Trans Am. Take that bird off and put the Sevan podcast on there.
Hey, Ellie Hiller had a request for you.
Yep, absolutely.
She said, she goes, hey, I really wanted one thing this week. And I said, what's that? She goes, would you please ask Sevan to follow me on Instagram?
Oh, yeah. I'd love to follow her on Instagram.
I said, yeah, we could probably make that happen for you. I'll let him know.
Hey, is that Merton's chick right there with the 23?
For all the coverage this weekend.
Oh my gosh,
it was amazing. My
that
parents
is
watched,
Merton's chick.
and they were like, "Oh my
Hey,
gosh, you got so
that
much coverage."
Hatfield looks like
I've
a
been doing this for 10 years.
Angelo
No
DiCicco.
coverage at all. So this was, it was
twins.
awesome that they were watching and they got to see it. So much appreciated.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know. She just came up with a competitor here, Taylor, Self's athlete, and just thanked us for the coverage. She said she's been doing this for a long time, these local comps, and she said her parents are too far to ever come to them, but they got to watch her all weekend. They were really excited about it. She said it was very meaningful for her, so she just wanted to pass it along to you as well, Sevan.
Who was that?
Gosh.
Who was?
Yeah, don't you gonna put me on the spot like that? Taylor Self's
Ellie
athlete?
Hiller, I got her. Followed. Ellie Hiller
followed. Okay.
Followed.
I
She's a he him. That's cool. No, I'm joking.
All right, Sevan, the scores are in. The checks are being written. The podium is going to be announced in a couple of minutes.
They don't mess around at the crash.
No,
Checks are being written.
We validated everything there. It's extremely close. Very, very tight margin for first and second. Very, very tight margin for third, fourth, and fifth.
Wait a second. Oh, hold on, Brian. Susan, go back. Was that a Mario with her baby? Let me see Mario. You just passed. Wow. Look at Mama was competing, and then we got the baby. How old's the baby? Man, that's a big kid. Was that kid 6?
Hey, can we ask you how old the baby is?
Yeah.
How old?
10 months.
10 months.
Oh my God.
If
Another
you didn't think
one.
she-
Her
if you didn't
and
think she was
Brianna Wallen.
impressive, yeah, if you
Wow.
didn't think these ladies were
Wow.
impressive already, now that you know that, it's just incredible.
Wow.
Absolutely incredible.
Wow. All righty. Back to you, Brian. Enough of this baby watching.
I'm not going to announce the results here, but I will tell you that it's very close. The results are in. The checks are currently being written and addressed to the appropriate athletes. The podium is built, and the stage is set, and we'll have those live from the Sousa cam when JR comes out of the back room with the checks.
And Sevan, that was Danielle Dunlap that thanked us and sent on the personal note that her parents got to watch.
Look, there's me if I in a different dimension. Look at. That's me if I worked out a little harder.
Hey, fucking impressive the last 2 days. Really good.
Hey, Susan, that's me and you if we had a kid right there.
Too much competition.
Oh, God. Poor guy. Yes, that was Danielle Dunlap.
Last 2 days was the track.
Awesome.
Watch these events back. You'll appreciate them. Really good.
Hey, guys, the truth is this. This is something that Jer Howell puts on. I'm not saying this is not bullshit.
Hey, bro.
Jer Howell puts this event on, and for us, it's just an honor to be a part of it. He said, "Hey," well, I don't even know if he said, "Hey." Maybe we said, "Hey, can we?" Someone actually, I think maybe said to Sousa, "Hey, JR's looking for someone to stream or something," or I don't remember, but it just rumbled to us, and then Sousa and I accosted JR, and we're like, "Hey, dude, let's give us a shot at it," and he did. And JR always takes care of us and everyone. And we're just stoked to be a part of it and get a chance to like kind of expand our skills and our ability and our investment into the space and just expand it. And for all you who donated money and for all the sponsors and everyone involved, can't tell you how much we appreciate it. My kids don't like you guys very much because they want to be partying with me all day. But other than that, everyone else is exceedingly happy. And it really is just a bunch of teamwork.
Had some visitors over here. Bill Leahy came by and said thank you guys for coverage all weekend.
Yeah, Bill, we love you.
James Sprague as well. He was maybe also trying to get some results out of me. Of course, I gave him nothing except for a whooping in Settlers of Catan. Aaliyah Miller came by to say hi and that she loves you guys and thanks for the support. So nice to see the athletes coming over and being appreciative of you guys watching and tuning in all weekend to see what they can do out here in South Carolina.
You know what? I'm just going to pull it up on the I'll just pull up the page. I think it's called there's McQueen Mint Trading Cards. There he is. There's McQueen. What's up, baby? What's he want? What's he need?
I was letting him know he was a lot of fun on the stream today, and his attitude and everything out here was infectious, and we had a good time watching him.
Yes, thank you, Mr. McQueen. You the man. Thank you.
Squat a lot and handstand well even more. So
Thanks, brother.
If you'd like to get some of these Wad Zombie trading cards, I have them all. They are fantastic. You can go over to the minttradingcards.com. Wad Zombie's always been a great supporter of the show. Greatly appreciate him. The website is Mint Trading Cards. There's some Be Friendly stuff over there. Sevan Podcast, Heat One, Wad Zombie. They got all new cards coming all the time. You got the rookie James Sprague. You got Christine Colenbrander, Alex Gazan, Bill Ben Smith, Alexis Raptis. I haven't got myself a signed Ariel Lowen card. So take some time, go over, check that out.
Sevan, do we have the option to do polls? Can we do polls for the viewers?
Caleb knows how to do that. Let me see if I know how to do that. Let me leave the
as we're waiting for the results to come in, it would be interesting to see what the audience thinks, whether they think that it was Colton or Austin Hatfield that ends up with the win here.
I wonder how I do that. Do I go to manage video or do I just go to the stream?
Very impressive young man.
thank you very much.
It's a tough competition.
Do you know how to do polls, Souza?
Say again, Sevan. I'm sorry. Say again.
Do you know how to do polls? How would I do a poll?
You can't do it from StreamYard. You have to go to YouTube.
I'm in YouTube.
Okay, so then if you go to the comment section, there should be like, I think 3 dots in the
Oh,
bottom
yeah.
right-hand corner.
And
And then you could say select a poll, and you can put your stuff in there and fire it up.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Community moderation, pop-out chat, timestamp, moderate activity, participation. Darn it, I don't have the option to do poll. From the chat, I do it?
Yeah, from the chat on YouTube.
I just see community moderation, participants, moderation, activity, timestamps, pop-out chat, send feedback. Darn it.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I wish
guys.
if I had it in front of me, I could remember it more. I'm just trying to remember what the thing is for it.
Do I actually go to the live stream?
Yes, you do it from like as if you're going to be a commenter on the live stream,
Okay.
like from the front end. And then there should be an option somewhere down there in the poll, like or in the chat to set up a poll. I can't remember what it looks like. Sorry, I wish I could be better.
That's
more
okay.
about.
Maybe I'll hit pop-out chat and let me see. Poll. No. Oh. Restore chat. Okay. I'll have to up my game. Sorry, that's a good idea. What was this plus sign? Engage with your audience.
Hey, we could just do this. Put it in the chat. Put a C or an A.
It's so much funner with a poll.
Yeah, but the chat would bump our numbers. So
Oh, there you go. Good point. Good point.
for those of you guys that want a facility tour, look, it's coming back together. I'm assuming this is kind of the normal setup. I mean, look at these. He's got 2, 4, 6, 8 assault runners that they're bringing out here. For those of you guys that didn't know, you've seen the center of it plenty. But this area here is typically like an open gym area. But this was used as the warm-up area here. So it's like literally the size of majority of the affiliates. All of them.
That's wild.
And this is just a dedicated open gym space. God, I wish I had that at my gym. It solves so many issues I have to deal with.
How many
Here's a
square
front-
feet is that place?
I think last night Rebecca said it was just over 10,000, but I don't know. I feel like it's more like 15 because mine's almost 8,000, and this seems much larger. Then you got the setup here, the bay door. You saw him run out of that. JR's got all the workouts hung up here, so it makes it easier if you come to watch it. This will be our makeshift podium in a few minutes when JR comes out. He's got this storage area over here. Lots of dumbbells, wall balls, more sandbags, another rig. And of course, you guys know this area very well. We've been here all weekend. Bathrooms. That door underneath the Paper Street Coffee was where they kind of used it as a corral. And then there's the volunteer area and then like an office back there as well. We won't go to there. But inside this area, you guys have it too. This was kind of the volunteer. This is just Crash's hangout. I mean, you want to talk about building a community. Look, he's got lockers. He's got this cool couch. He's got a little kitchen set up.
Oh, the audio is so much better in there. Is there music in the other room?
Yeah, there's music in the other room. Look, they got a little basketball set up here. Some pool cues. Is there a pool table in here usually? Oh, all right, fair enough. You got this little arcade game.
I can't believe I can't figure out how to do this poll. I suck.
Dude, you could probably have just YouTubed how to set up a YouTube poll and just watched it by now.
Yeah, I've done it by now. Man.
Then, of course, the turf area. Oh, and here's what I think this is JR gets to use this for one of his members that donates it. But here's where you guys can see all the other equipment that was laid out, or no, would typically be laid out, but was kind of stored away. I mean, probably 8 to 10 ski rigs back there. We got the sleds, probably a dozen or more rowers. Oh, I almost fell. That would have sucked. We got some echo bikes. He's got the long ropes for all the pulling. I mean, tires galore. Lots of space for activities. The crazy thing is you could probably like shoot right there or something. Another storage can.
Oh, I have to go to a community tab. Oh, shit. Mike Halpin, world-class comp by JR and top-notch commentating and color by Brian and Sevan, unmatched all the way around in crew. Yeah, and the filming by you has been insane, Souza. Insane. I don't think people realize how you basically have to be paying attention the whole time. You can't just be a jerk-off.
Dude, the whole time. And you guys saw like a couple of times the camera getting a little shaky. That's because I'm trying to not only keep people in frame, but then pay attention so I don't block a lane or get hit by another athlete or obstruct anything for them as well too. So it definitely kept me
podium
on my
announcement
toes.
for the men coming up. JR Howell has the mic. Souza has JR on the Souza cam.
Can you just use maybe turn off your earphones, Susan, just use the audio on the phone. Audio and mic on the phone.
Okay, so we're off my headphones now. You're just getting the raw audio. I don't know if you can hear it, but
Yep.
awesome. We have some volunteers helping bring out what looks to be like the trophies there. Let's get JR. Where's JR? I hear him, but I don't see him. Where's JR? There he is.
I'm glad we can get everyone in and out and make people time today, but it's not going on the individual males. Everybody else has done their voting ceremony, and we got to close the race. Okay, so. Third place, 2023 Crucible is for Jack Rosema.
Wow. Jack Rosema, third place, Jack.
He was all the way across the gym. I don't think he knew that he had gotten that.
Good job, Jack.
Second place,
$1,000. Dang.
Colton Burns.
I hope he just rips the check in half. $3,000. Good job, Colton. $3K. That's one dog.
Union 2023 Crucible winner Austin Pat.
want to see him cry.
Bonus information for the fans at home.
Tell us.
The Z-score points for Austin Hatfield, 600. For Colton Mertens, 595.
Woo!
Jack Rosema, 563. James Sprague, 559. Daniel Coots, 553. For 5 points between first and second, 10 points between third and fifth. We had actually done the game scoring as well, and I know that a lot of you are interested in that. According to the game scoring, Hatfield won by a much bigger margin. He had 637. Second place would still have been Mertens at 613, and there would have been a difference for third. Sprague would have beaten Roosevelt by 3 points instead of losing to him by 4 points in the performance scoring. So either way, Austin Hatfield was the winner here at Crucible. We're using the performance-based scoring, of course. In either system, Colton Mertens was still second. Jack Rosema edges out Sprague on the scoring here. And this is pretty traditional of what you'll see when you compare these two. Obviously, Tyler's put out a performance-based scoring or Z scoring, and he was doing that relative to the traditional scoring systems on many competitions. So we didn't want to negate doing that using performance-based scoring as well. It did extend Austin's lead and would have changed third and fourth on the leaderboard. Many competitions, that's the case where 1 or 2 positions near the top 2 change depending on the scoring system that you use.
Thomas Payne, thank you. It's our pleasure. Jeff Giardina, dang, I won a comp and got a keychain and some protein powder. Sounds good. A game scoring, John Young, game scoring. Oh, you know what he means. What do you mean? You know what he means.
I just went over that.
Oh, maybe I'm late to the party. All right. Maybe he said that before you said it. My bad.
Sevan, anything else that you need from me?
No. Thank you so much. You were absolutely marvelous. I give you a 10 out of 10. Perfect score. Flawless.
Audrey gave me an 11.
There you go. John Young,
right.
I asked the question 5 minutes ago. Sevan is behind.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to go and help JR and the crew tear down here. And we'll see you guys later on.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one. The Shiz, great coverage, guys. $20 the weekend by everyone involved. Thanks, dude. Thank you very much, Shiz. 2023 Crash Crucible complete. On behalf of the Sevan Podcast, I apologize for my performance on Friday. It was absolutely crushed. That we came back strong Saturday and Sunday. Brian and Souza and Hiller were phenomenal. Souza's work, I cannot tell you guys how hard it is what he did, getting all those angles and be conscious of where everyone is at all time for 12 hours a day. There is Colton Mertens with his $3,000 check. Andrew Hiller from BIRTHFIT talking to Marquand. Good day, huh, Souza? Glad it's over?
Say again?
I said good day. Glad it's over?
Yes. Yeah, I am looking forward to sleeping until I got to fly out early tomorrow morning.
What time do you fly out tomorrow morning?
7:10 a.m.
Okay. All right. Give me a call when you land. The show will be going when you land, maybe. And tomorrow, I guess. So tomorrow we are not having the guest on that you and I were trying to get on. Maybe Tuesday. So tomorrow will be a live call-in show. Hopefully Caleb will be back from doing his role to support this country. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. At Souza. Sevan Matosian. Anything you want to add? Anything you want to add?
No, I just went around to see you. So
all right. All right, good. All right, guys. Talk to you guys